Okay, so yesterday we talked about two relationships. We talked about vertical angles and adjacent angles. What is special about vertical angles? They're opposite of each other, they're right across from each other, but what else? They are vertical. Oh. But what does that mean, Joe? They're straight across from each other, but they are eye partners, which means what else is special about them?
They're facing each other.
Right, but what is special about them?
Oh, they're like the same.
They are equal to each other. Okay, so vertical angles are equal to each other. We're going to talk about two other types of relationships today. So looking at the picture on example 3, how many angles do you see there?
3.
I see 3 of them. What's one of them? Angle A, B, C. What else? C, B, D. And what else? Angle A, B, D. There are 3 angles there. Okay, we actually know the measure of 2 of them. The first one we know is angle ABC, and what does that measure? 28 degrees. The other one we know is angle ABD. What does that measure?
2x.
No? What does ABD measure?
Oh, 100.
That makes a straight line?
90.
That makes a right angle because it has this little red right here that tells us that measures 90 degrees, right? Okay, so we also know that these 2 angles create angle ABD, right? So these 2 angles combined equal what? What does a right angle equal?
90 degrees.
90 degrees. So those 2 angles combined equal what? What, Amriel? 90 degrees. So what's the measure of this angle?
28.
Plus, what's the measure of this angle?
2.
Not 2.
2x.
2x. What would I do to solve?
Minus 28.
Minus 28. Minus 28. I'd have 2x on this side. When I take 90 minus 28, what do I get?
78.
Use calculator. You have a calculator right in front of you, Joe?
You get 62.
And then what would I do?
You divide by 2.
So x equals 31. Questions on that? Okay. The next example, do those 2 angles form to make a 90-degree angle? No. But if I smush them together, they would create what type of angle? No. If I smush them together, they'd make a straight line. So what does a straight line measure?
180.
180. So these 2 together will equal
180.
180. So what's the measure of this one? Plus, what's the measure of this one? What would I do first to solve? What do I get? I don't know why you guys stare at me. Use your calculators. What? 57. And I'd still have 3x, so then what would I do? Divide by 3, and what would I get? X equals 19. Questions on that? Okay, we're going to do C together. There's a couple of different ways that we could do this. We know that this angle measures x, this angle measures x, and that angle measures what?
X. Or no.
90, because this little box told us that this was 90. All 3 of those angles together equal what?
180.
So they all equal 180. What's the measure of this one? 90. Plus, what's the measure of this one?
X.
What's the measure of this one?
X.
X. So there's our equation. How many x's do we have?
2.
So let's write 2x, I hope you're writing this down with me, plus 90 equals 180. Then what would I do?
Subtract my 90.
Subtract 90. I still have 2x, so then I would divide by 2. So what does x equal? 45. Okay, the second way we could have done this is looking at them. Since this is 90, since this is 90, that means this side is also 90, correct? So if these two angles together equal 90, I would say x plus x equals 90, which how many x's do you have there?
2.
So 2x equals 90. Divide by 2, we still get x equals 45. So there's two different ways to solve that exact same problem. Questions on that? Okay. Go to the next example. Up at the top, the picture shows a brace for a gate. Find the value of x. So we've talked about three different types of relationships. They can be vertical angles, they can be complementary angles, they can be 90 degrees, or they could be 180 degrees, right? Are these two across from each other? No. Do they form a right angle? Together, do they form a right angle?
No.
No. Do they form a straight angle?
Yes.
So that means that they equal what? 180. What is the measure of one of them? Plus, what is the measure of the other? And then we would solve, correct? Okay, you do got it, D. Go. Stand when you're done. The equation you wrote for D, Alex.
So I said equals 180.
Perfect. So,
And then I said AX plus 116.
equals
And then I
180.
put minus 116. And I got 60. And then we divide 8 by 60, so we get 8.
Good. So x equals 8. Thumbs up if you got that. Get that? Okay. All right, we are going to rotate